Drugs Endangerment and Neglect, an organization meant to protect vulnerable children in the Bay Area, accused of putting them at risk. This is Nightside. I'm Carolina Lead. So tonight, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office opened a criminal investigation into Eckerd Connects, the main organization handling child welfare and foster care services in several counties, including these three in the Bay Area.
I mean, you don't let this happen. You don't allow these conditions to exist. They're vulnerable. And they need help, and we as a community, we as a society have an obligation to them, and they've been failed.
10 Tampa Bay Shannon Clough was at today's press conference with Sheriff Galtieri, asking him how these kids are going to be kept safe.
Those kids were supposed to be staying in safe homes, but the sheriff telling me those kids were actually staying here at the administrative building, sleeping under desks in dirty clothes. We know Largo police responding here to this building at least 30 times in the past month for kids in danger and some running away.
We have children who are sadly abused and neglected by their parents.
That's why the Department of Children and Families contracts companies like Eckerd Connects to keep thousands of kids safe.
And they went to a place that is as bad or worse than a place we took them from.
With his own eyes, Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Galtieri can describe the living conditions for these kids under Eckerd Connects care.
Frankly, it is disgusting and deplorable.
The sheriff said last Thursday a child fell off a ladder here at the administrative building.
Lacerated his stomach on a piece of metal sticking out of the ladder.
That's not the only child rushed to the hospital from here.
One child took unprescribed medication and another child overdosed on unsecured drugs.
In other cases, the sheriff says a child was in a car with a gun.
And there was an unsecured gun in the car the kid got access to.
Another child in the care of a convicted criminal.
They put a drug trafficker in charge of vulnerable kids.
Eckerd Connects has responded, saying they will cooperate and don't tolerate that kind of behavior. They said they've needed funding to meet the growing needs. DCF ended their contract this Monday, explaining Eckerd Connects jeopardized the safety of children. Eckerd says they weren't planning to continue the contract due to the lack of funding, money, something the sheriff says Eckerd Connects received from the state.
Tens of millions of dollars and letting kids overdose in their offices, letting kids fall off the roof. That's not DCF, that's Eckerd.
DCF is now in the process of transitioning to a new company to keep those kids safe. We're told that will happen before the end of the year.
Each year, Eckerd Connects serves more than 40,000 people in 20 states across the nation. Let's take a deeper dive into the organization and how it works here in the Bay Area. A child abuse case gets called in. The Florida Department of Children and Families usually conducts an investigation, but in a handful of counties, the sheriff's office handles it. Regardless of which agency investigates, Florida law mandates the use of a community-based care agency to be boots on the ground. That includes services like foster care, counseling, intervention, and social work. In Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco counties, that agency is Eckerd Connects, but it doesn't stop there. Agencies like Eckerd sometimes use subcontractors to help manage cases. That's how one file can get passed from agency to agency, all while things could be slipping through the cracks. And we know this is a lot. So to recap, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is investigating abuse and neglect of children housed at Eckerd Connects offices. DCF has already decided to ditch Eckerd Connects in 3 local counties. In Pasco and Pinellas, that will happen at the end of December, but in Hillsborough, it doesn't end until next June. We are working to find out where all of these kids are going to go when those contracts expire.